What do you do when God gives you a promise, but everything you can see tells you it is impossible, when the door will not open, when the answer has not come, when your strength is gone, when the numbers don't make sense, when time appears to be running out? What do you do when faith is the only thing you have left? 2,000 years ago, Jesus spoke words that shattered the boundaries of human possibility. He looked at his disciples and declared, "With man this is impossible, but not with God." And then came the words that generations would cling to, "All things are possible with God." But what does that actually mean? When you are standing face to face with the impossible, consider Abraham. God gave an aging man an outrageous promise: a son, a family, descendants beyond counting. Abraham looked toward the heavens. Stars stretched across the darkness. God was essentially telling him, "Your descendants will become more numerous than these." There was only one problem. Abraham was old. Sarah was old. Humanly speaking, the promise was impossible. Then came the waiting, year after year after year. Imagine Sarah watching her youth disappear. Imagine Abraham waking each morning, knowing another day had passed. Still no son, still no fulfillment, still only a promise. Sometimes the hardest part of faith isn't receiving the promise. It is surviving the silence between the promise and its fulfillment. Then the word came again. Sarah would have a son. She laughed, not because the promise was small, because it was too large, too late, too impossible. And God responded with a question that still confronts us today. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Think about that question. Is anything too hard for God? And then a cry was heard inside Abraham's tent, a baby's cry. Isaac, the child who should not have existed, was breathing in Sarah's arms. The impossible had become a testimony, because God's ability had never depended upon Abraham's age, Sarah's strength, or human probability. Generations later, another man stood before another impossibility: Moses. Behind him, Pharaoh's army. Before him, the sea. Around him, terrified people. There was nowhere to run, no military strategy, no escape route. By every human calculation, it was over. But God did not need an escape route. He was about to create one. Moses lifted his staff. The wind came and the waters moved. Imagine standing there, watching an ocean divide before your eyes. The thing that appeared to be the end became the road God used to lead them forward. Sometimes God removes the obstacle. Sometimes He makes a path straight through it. Then came David, a shepherd boy, walking toward a warrior everyone else feared. Goliath had armor, a sword, experience, strength. David had 5 stones, a sling, and faith in the living God. Everyone saw the giant. David saw something different. He saw a God greater than the giant. David ran toward the battle, not away from it. One stone flew, the giant fell, and Israel learned something it had forgotten. The size of your enemy does not determine the outcome when the battle belongs to God. But the greatest demonstration was still coming. Jesus was crucified. His body was placed inside a tomb. A stone sealed the entrance. Rome believed the problem was finished. His enemies believed the story was over. Even his disciples hid in fear. Dead men do not walk out of graves. That is impossible. Then came Sunday. The stone moved, the tomb opened, and death discovered it did not have the final word. Jesus Christ rose, the greatest enemy humanity had ever known. Death itself was defeated. Christian faith does not rest merely upon the idea that difficult things can become easier. It rests upon a risen Savior who walked out of a grave, and now there is you. Maybe you are facing something that feels impossible, a door that will not open, a dream that seems too distant, a family situation you cannot repair, a calling greater than your confidence, a prayer you have whispered for years. You have looked at the circumstances, you have looked at your resources, you have looked at yourself, and perhaps you have quietly concluded, there is no way, but you may be looking in the wrong direction. All things are possible with God does not mean God exists to fulfill every human desire. It means human limitation does not limit God. His wisdom exceeds yours. His power exceeds yours. His vision reaches beyond what you can see. Faith is not pretending the mountain isn't there. Faith looks directly at the mountain and remembers who God is. Abraham still had to wait. Moses still had to approach the sea. David still had to walk toward Goliath. And the disciples still endured the darkness between Friday and Sunday. Faith does not deny reality. Faith refuses to make reality greater than God. So perhaps you do not need to see the entire road today. Perhaps you only need enough faith for the next step. Pray again, believe again, obey again, stand again, walk again. Not because you know exactly what will happen, but because you know the one who walks before you. Your impossibility may become the very place where God's faithfulness becomes impossible to ignore. The same God who kept his promise to Abraham, made a road through the sea, gave courage to David, and raised Jesus Christ from the dead, is still God. So do not measure God's power by the size of your circumstances. Do not confuse delay with abandonment. And do not call something impossible simply because you cannot see the way forward. Jesus said, with man this is impossible, but not with God. All things are possible with God. So I want to ask you one question. What is the impossible thing you need to trust God with today? Write it in the comments. Not as a declaration of fear, but as an act of faith. And if you believe that nothing is impossible with God, write, I will trust God. Someone reading your words may need that reminder today. Hold on to your faith. Take the next step. And remember, what is impossible with man is possible with God.